Hi, everyone. My name is Shireen Hafeez, and I'm going to be moderating this discussion. Thank you all so much for being here. So for those of you that came a little late, there were two films. The one we just saw, and then there was one right before that. Why don't you go ahead and tell them who you are?
Hi, my name is Chhaya. I am the writer, director, and actress, amongst other things, in Kurta. It's a 5-minute short that was just before this film. And this is?
My name is Nene. I'm the assistant director for Kurta.
Is it working?
I don't. Quiet. We'll share this.
Yeah, okay. So, for those of you that came a little late, there is a theme with the two back-to-back movies. So why don't you go ahead and thread that through?
So both of our leads are Nigerian. Mine's a 5-minute short about bringing someone home to your family and having those discussions that we've all had. And if we haven't had them, then you know a friend who's brought someone home and had that discussion. And kind of talking about anti-Blackness in our culture, it's important that we continue the conversations. Mine was done, post George Floyd. I wanted to figure out how we could meaningfully have these conversations. Chandan and I come from a family that is very open-minded. That's not to say that they're not bias-free and have their own things that they go through. But we've always been able to have these kind of conversations with our parents. So we're both very lucky in that sense.
So that's very interesting. Yes, there's that. What do you think about colorism? And is there a relation or intersection between that and otherness?
Yeah, colorism, we've seen Fair and Lovely. Everyone knows about it by now. I throw it away every time I can, or I put it in the back of the store. I'll put it back and I turn it around, or, it's just, that's the little bit I can do in the store. We talk about it. I always roll my eyes. I can't help it. It's definitely an issue. Why does our color matter? And it does matter, and that's the terrible part of it. But I don't think that, playing in the sun is a big deal. There was one year our mom gave my other brother and I suntan lotion instead of sunscreen, so we became like 900 shades darker, and there was a comment about how we might have been adopted through the community, and I was like, okay, she just, it's different things that you learn. Why does color matter in that way? It should not matter. I don't know. I believe that we're all one people, and as much love as we can give to each other, that makes the world a better place.
So the theme of your short, what do you want, or what were you hoping would lead? Because it was provocative in a very nice and subtle way, and those of us, from the Southeast Asian culture, such as myself, we know how scandalous that can be. So what do you think? But then again, there's a new generation, and now we're maybe on the third generation of, being outside of the native land. So what do you think are the nuances and messages or things that you felt were important to convey?
I think part of it is that our family is different. We're not a monolith. I think everyone in this room has a different story as to how their parents treated them growing up, and not one of them will be the exact same. And I think that that's an important part of culture that I wanted to show. Gosh, how many times have we seen trauma porn and seen stories and romances that are like, our parents are always the villain. And yeah, our parents are flawed, we're flawed. But what if we had a story where our parents came from a little bit more love? And I thought that side of how much our parents do love us is not really ever seen. We are the terrorists, we are the motel owners, we're the cab drivers, but we are not the supportive, loving family. And if we don't do a damn thing about it, who is going to do it? I wrote this too because obviously I'm Indian, but I'm never cast like that. I'm always Hispanic. I'm always a different ethnicity. And I think that our culture is very rich and beautiful. We have issues we need to work out. We need to do better. But if we can't highlight that, nobody is coming to save us. Nobody is coming here to do your work. And if you don't go out and do it, and you don't write something for yourself, no one will ever see you the way that you know you want to be seen. And also, there's something I wanted to highlight here. My brother's visually impaired. He's our assistant director, and he came on as a member of the blind and visually impaired community to do this. I think there's room to blow the doors wide open for everybody. Our grandmother is 93. She came on after having a series of strokes and still came out here to do the film, even though she had one line. So I think you can really open up the communities. I don't know if you want to speak a little bit about your experience from that community.
Well, yeah, for example, my condition is called nystagmus. It's rapid eye movement from side to side, uncontrollable by me. But I've always been infatuated with film, and I've always wanted to build a world or a community that gives opportunities. I've recently spent some time mentoring other visually impaired kids, one of whom wants to be an actor, an action film actor to be specific. So I wanted to create a world in which he could come out here, he could film, and he could become famous.
Yeah, some of the stuff.
That's so nice. Can we just give a round of applause for that, please? Very nice. So I'm very involved in advocacy for children with disabilities, but that's another story. But yes, I very, very much appreciate that. Are there any questions? Okay.
I also want to say thank you guys for coming. It makes a difference when people show up, and so thank you. And everyone has films here, so please check out. We had films last night. We have films coming up on Saturday. We have other films we want to see throughout the weekend, so please check out everyone's work. It makes a big difference.
It does.
Chhaya, I'm from the media, and you have left me salivating for more. That short film should have been much longer, because I've seen this. I've written a story about interracial marriages, and there was a woman who came from a very elite African-American family who told me that when she married her Indian husband, he would go into parties and introduce her as, "This is Mary, my wife. She has an MBA from Harvard," as if getting an MBA from Harvard would change the color of her skin. And I think your brother's story has to be made into another long film. The ending was just very quirky and fun.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of caught me off guard, because I was expecting the face to be shown to the parents and then their reaction. But my question to you is, what compelled you to make it a short film and not a longer version of this? Because this is a story that can be explored all the time. Nothing has changed since the early 2000s when I did the story on interracial relationships, but we are becoming more and more interracial families. There's not going to be any purebred people left in another 30, 40 years. So my question is that, was it lack of finances or whatever? This is something that is a story of the South Asian filmmakers. We had somebody from Toronto yesterday, and they were talking about the same thing, getting people on board. And that's why these festivals are so important, to bring these things to the platform.
Yeah, thank you for that. Actually, this is one episode of 7 for a series called Civil Disobedience, which is my lane. I'm a journalist by nature, and this episode is the only comedy. The others are short episodes based on being South Asian women in America, how we live in a post-9/11 world, which is very different for all of us. There's one about driving while black while America, gun trauma in America, and I wanted to write something that was a comedy, because I feel like the best way to have these conversations is when we feel responsibility, but we don't feel the damnation or guilt that leads to inaction.
Yes.
And I feel like that's why it was a short, and also there's something about leaving people wanting more. I don't know, sometimes we watch films that we're like, please God, let it end, and it's nobody's fault, it's just, we don't resonate with it, that's okay. And I did not want to be that person for the first film. I was in one episode of the series, and I just advocated. I said, hey, can I write this? You have one episode left. Can I have a chance? You've seen my work. And they said, yes. I said, great. Can I direct it? Great. Can I cast it? Great. And I kept pushing, and this was the story. And it was a great first experience. This is the first time done. We shot it on an iPhone, which is the other thing I wanted for accessibility for everyone. You don't need to have huge equipment to go make work. This is literally iPhone 13. Maybe.
Excellent point. We have great, cameras now in iPhones as well. But thank you for doing this, and I think more power to you. And let's hear some more stories from you. I'll definitely be on the lookout.
Thank you.
That was a very interesting comment, because technology now has democratized access to bringing new voices. So very interesting. I think there's another.
I'm Rajashree Sen, and I want to make a comment. Firstly, I apologize. I was, I think, 5 minutes late. I had a meeting in the morning and meeting in person. So by the time I came, I thought this started 5 minutes late, but no. the 5-minute film was over. So I can't comment on that. But I want to, you can see my white hair, so that speaks for itself. Lived many, many years around. I want to tell you that this color prejudice is just not Southeast Asia. Please don't think that. It's worldwide, worldwide. And I'm not exaggerating. I teach, I still work, I teach at practically all black city college, Olive Harvey College at south side of Chicago. And there is color prejudice even amongst blacks. The fairer blacks get a better deal in life than the darker blacks. The blacks themselves are experiencing this kind of color discrimination. I have a niece who's married to a Nigerian. Both met as undergraduate at Harvard, but never mind, it doesn't matter. I mean, guests came to my niece's wedding, and then they came sympathizing with me. Oh, your brother and sister-in-law are so fantastic. They have accepted this. They were sympathizing with me. I mean, no matter what, then my grandnieces are born, they have curly hair, so this is all, please believe me, I know in Southeast Asia, color is a big thing, but it's everywhere.
I think that's a great.
Let's not just think that we are the only ones with all this prejudice.
No, you're right. There was a line in the film that I don't know
Yeah.
if you, since you weren't here, I don't think
Yeah.
you caught
I
it,
just
but there's a
wanted
line
to
where he
repeat
says
that.
something
Yeah.
about, my mom doing an Indian and Asian accent was out of pocket. That's a conversation that we had before we did the film, that it exists within his community. And I asked him, what are the biases that you guys have against our crowd too? Because you're right, it's not just our crowd. However, we do have the power to have the conversation.
Yes.
And I think that that's cool to start it. Thank you.
It's good that you brought this thing and we are having this conversation. Also, I notice amongst my Indian friends, here, those that have son-in-laws or daughter-in-laws who are Caucasian are in an entirely different situation than those who have sons and daughters-in-laws who are African Americans or the like. I mean, there's so much, they themselves are ashamed, quote unquote. I mean, people are bragging about their Caucasian in-laws, but they're not bragging about their African American in-laws. This is a phenomenon which we all notice, and we have to educate ourselves, we have to broaden ourselves, and we ourselves, as you said, don't know what prejudices we have.
Correct, and this short has the conversation like this. That's exactly the point. So I'm really glad. Thank you for your comments and thoughts.
Did we have any other questions around here?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello there. Great work. But my question is, if you had a question that you wanted to get asked, what would that question be? And why don't you ask yourself that question? And secondly, these films usually are made a while ago. In the acting grind, you come and you display a film that was done a while ago. So what are you up to now? What are the projects you got going on? And any plugs and stuff like that?
Thank you. We made this exactly a year ago almost, so it was a very fast turnaround. I always want to be asked, I guess, the light that we want to be seen in, and I think that this is something I was able to do for our family, and we're a very close family, and I want my family around for as long as possible. It's none of us are married, shocker to our families. And it's a way that while it's still the 6 of us, we have this. So this is the way I wanted to show my family in a love letter to all the things that they have done for us. And this will forever be captured in time. I don't know how long my grandma will be here. I hope it's a long time, but at least she got to act in this, and we will always have that. So that's something I'm proud of. I'm a wrestler. I know I don't look like it, so I wrote about being the first female wrestler and only female wrestler on the South Asian team in Northern Virginia on the boys team. I wrestled boys. It was great. So I've written that. Jenden's working on his nystagmus story. I'm also writing I've written a feature about non-traditional grandparents, another scene that we don't have. and also going through TSA as a brown woman and getting detained in TSA jail in Australia by another brown woman and talking kind of about our own self-hate and what we go through in that. So a couple of pieces in the works, and I have some stuff on network television that's coming out. So it's kind of cool. It's crazy to be here. I'm really excited.
Hey.
That's so good.
Well, great job. I'm so glad I got to finally see your film. For those of you who don't know, Kurta Pants has been sweeping festivals. So,
Microphone.
yeah, and it's been, I don't know if you can hear me, but
Microphone, please.
for those of you who don't know, Kurta Pants has been sweeping festivals and picking up lots of awards. So I really wanted to congratulate you, and I wanted to emphasize the point that you bring up around not all indie films have to be about trauma porn. And although, you know, of course, important causes and social causes are important to advocate for, I really loved your note around, you know, showing loving, supportive family structures as well. And as a first-time filmmaker, actor, from another first-time filmmaker, actor, advocate who also wrote a love story, I'm curious, how did you kind of navigate self-driving, making sure that you could bring a lighthearted but important concept to the indie film community, and also paring it down to 5 minutes? Sometimes when we take these lighter concepts that are nuanced and still have really important undercurrents, it's, at least I always felt like this obligation to, like, how do I make this count, you know? And being able to convey this message in a simple way, in one location kind of, and also in 5 minutes, that is not easy. So I'm curious, what kind of conversations did you have with yourself as a creator, with your team, and also was there a version of this that was not 5 minutes?
That's so sweet. You're the best. She has a film coming out. She's the Newlywed Story. They both do. It's amazing. Yes. Thank you. I was told that everything was going to pretty much be on me. I'd had mentorship, and I wanted to see how much work that would be. So I started writing, and I had 2 incidents, personal incidents, where I was in the hospital and I didn't know if I was going to be able to work. And I wrote this in that time of being in bed and not being able to get up, actually. And I just wrote, it just ended up being 5 pages. I just stopped where I felt the story stopped. And the story stopped with leaving the audience to getting to decide what happens next. That's a question we get of, like, did they accept him? And I don't know if you remember in the very beginning, there's a soccer shirt that he's wearing that says goal, and he pulls his Kurta right over it. So it's there all along, and I think that's kind of a note to us to see that. But the answer how to pare it down, I wanted to do something meaningful for, like I said, after George Floyd. And how do I do that? How do I get our family involved? How do we create this community that, I think as artists, sometimes we have that calling and all this, like, if they just gave me a chance, if they just saw me for 2 seconds, you could see that we hold the magic. And when this is a calling, it's a calling. And I wanted it to be a short and sweet calling. You get a taste of this. This is who we are. This is what we can do. And if you want it, I'm right here. Come find me. So I wanted to just keep it. It was never longer than 5, but I will say that Chandan saved me a lot. He flew out to help with my physical recovery, and also on set when people were not able to make it, he got up, called people, we were there. In the film, the kurta is something that was given to us. My outfit, my salwar, was donated by my mommy. She made it. The house was donated. The food was donated. Even the clothes that I'm going to be wearing tonight and throughout are given to us. The whole film was made with love. And that's something that, like, I couldn't have asked for ever. So this 5-minute version was just a quick write. I stopped when I was done, and then I just said, please God, let it work. And it has. I don't know.
Yes, it has. Would you like? Yeah.
So Chhya's a little bit too humble to mention this, but we've actually won a series of about 2 or 3 awards right now going on from the DC South Asian Film Festival. We've won Best Director's Debut, I believe it was. And
That's amazing.
yeah,
That's awesome.
And what were the other awards that we've won?
Thanks. We've won Best Short in Toronto Made on a Phone, and then we've won Best Film in LA. So it's It's been kind of cool. to
That's
have it work.
incredible.
And we had our debut at the Chinese Theater.
Thanks, Jonathan. That's my little brother.
That's amazing. Was there, oh, okay, so can we pass the mic to over there? Thank
Just a
you.
very quick question. I'm very sad I missed it. So for anybody who missed it, can we watch it somewhere?
We don't have it anywhere for distribution
No, the
yet.
5 minutes? No, you can't show the 5-minute film.
Yeah, we have it somewhere. There is we're gonna try and get a screener link if we can, or hopefully there'll be another screening.
I also
But
missed it. I would love to see it.
yeah, I'm gonna try. Just come find us after, and we'll get your information. See a way that we can get it to you.
Or you could have shown it later and this one.
Listen, you tell them. Let's play it again. Let's play it all week. I'm ready for it.
More than happy.
Every day, every screening, I'm here for it. I'll show up. So.
Anybody who's driving on I-90 now, I can tell you 6 lanes are fitting into 4 lanes. That's horrendous driving, believe me.
You know what, Jigar, if you're listening to this, please come and play it for every screening. That would be amazing. We'd
You
love
should
it.
play it before the long feature and after. That way you cover everybody.
That's right. Done and done.
Note for next time. There's a, we can pass.
So thank you. Thank you very much for this beautiful film. And I was wondering, and I would like to listen a bit more about, you called this film Kurta Pants.
Mhm.
So what's like your take on this wearing the pants, also to sort of trying to trying to adapt to the family or to please them at least.
No, it's a great question. So I'm not going to make Chandan show his pants, but he can. You see these kurta pants? They are one size fits all, but we are not. And the reason that it's called kurta pants, Indians and Nigerians almost have identical clothing, down to our kurtas, our salwars, and the pants, if you've seen these, they are crotchless. They're like horrible. And I wanted an image for the movie that really showed that while we are similar, we have our differences. We're not one size fits all, and that's where the pants came from as an idea of showing the imagery between both. And Andrew's wearing red. Andrew's our actor who plays Ajani. He's actually Nigerian. He's had these conversations with his parents. He comes from that town. And I wanted to wear red, and Chandan's wearing blue from the film, so we kept it on brand with the kurta pants. Cool, let's wrap it up so everyone can go home and chill before the opening night.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thanks for coming.